somebody we haven't seen in a long time and with good reason, who skeeves us out and makes us feel kind of like we need to wash as soon as his face comes on. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you, I don't mean Eric Bolling. Eric Bolling, I'm pretty sure his face is what happens when you shave a peep. But, and he looks very upset. But he has on Rudy Giuliani. No, not Glenn Beck. Yeah, so this is he's very, I don't know what he's upset about, but it's right out of the fucking gate. Yes, the marzipan warrior, the man who gets his he goes, go straight past the Juvederm and just inject marzipan right into my fucking cheeks. And Rudy Giuliani comes in here apparently and has something to say.
Network for conservatives. You can see right here, they used to.
Fox News removes giant poster of Tucker Carlson and all hosts. Well, I guess everybody's getting an updated picture except the ones who've been fired. Shit.
Proudly show their primetime lineup on the wall of their building. Well, that image.
Oh dear God. They're all in mourning. This is kind of awesome, actually. This is great. This is good stuff. That's cool. I feel like I should Photoshop my face on there a bunch just to be a dick. That's amazing. It's like they're wearing a black armband to mourn the loss of Tucker at 8 o'clock. Jesus Christ.
Was taken.
You're right. Bowling for marzipan. It's true.
Down just a few days ago. Notice anything? Not only.
No, I don't. Are there usually people there? Because I don't really give a shit, and I'm not about to start.
Is Tucker Carlson missing? So is everyone else.
They're all gone. They dwell in darkness. You know how the Washington Post, democracy dies in darkness or whatever? That's the darkness. That's what they're trying to say. Yeah, hell yeah, it does. Right here.
What?
We are the darkness that destroys democracy.
What is Fox News embarrassed about? Who?
I don't know. Maybe there's a big party. Maybe they're having a big post-Tucker party, and they put out blackout curtains just so everybody could dance without, the prying eyes of the media, you TMZ bastard.
Who's going to get thrown out next? You see, this.
Oh, we've got our hopes up. I'm hoping it's Jesse Waters. Yeah, they could punt that fucker.
This is not only an identity crisis at Fox, but it's another example of their shift left. And
oh yeah, totally. Their shift left. Because anything to the left of calling for open violence in the streets and decrying the influence of Jews in the world is left wing at this point. Like, how fucking tipped on the right do you have to be?
Unfortunately, this has been going on for years.
I don't know. I would say fortunately. I mean, okay, agree to disagree.
Joining me now, former mayor of New York City and former attorney for Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani. Mr. Mayor, thanks for coming on. You've been censored by Fox News. What's your reaction to what they did to Tucker Carlson?
And the rest of us will just stand here and be skeeved out by memories from the Borat movie of this fucker.
I was expecting it. I was still
bullshit.
Shocked by it.
I was expecting it, and I was shocked by it because I never expect to be shocked, but shocking things should be expected.
Shocked by it because he's had like about a year to a year and a half of what I would consider historic and inspired journalism.
Define journalism.
I mean, we have a lot of great journalists on our side, and
no, not anymore. I think they're all gone now. Him, Bongholio, that's it. What do you got left? Laura Ingraham, calm down.
It takes
Eric Bolling. I mean, it's a little too late to suck up. He's already got you on the show.
A lot of guts to be on our side.
Why? It doesn't take guts to be Tucker Carlson at all. He's independently wealthy and always will be.
To be on the other side, I don't know. You go to all the cocktail parties and the drinks.
Yes, that's true. On our side, we have what are called friends and real relationships. And, all of our interactions with our fellow human beings aren't transactional. So, yeah, we do kind of coast through life in that respect.
So much, they probably don't even know what they're doing. But on our side, I mean, they do everything they can to destroy you. And he has, he's gone through that so gracefully, and I thought the piece on January 6th was so needed.
You mean where they gave him 40,000 plus hours of video and he managed to squeak out about 1.5 minutes of footage that he edited out of order with no timestamp to try and give the illusion that the dude with the fucking horns on his head was less guilty than he pled to himself? What the fuck's wrong with you? That footage, as bad as it was and as lame as it was, made a couple of the maggots get longer jail terms, you dickhead.
And in a way, given all the pieces he had done in the last year and a half, he was doing about the credibility to do it. And I think that's what did him in.
Yes, his credibility ultimately killed him. Well, I mean, I will say if there's any place in the world where having credibility would cost you your job, it's Fox News. Of course.
That last one has a deep state cabal behind it that is very, very dangerous.
Yes, I agree. I mean, obviously the deep state cabal has failed at controlling government, clearly. I mean, because they obviously were siding with Hillary, but somehow Trump got elected. And then they managed to wrestle control back. But then Joe Biden got in there and they couldn't hand it over to the commies. So like Elizabeth Warren. And so they just decided, fuck it. If we can't control the government, we'll just go take over Fox News. Is everybody sharing Alex Jones's pipe at some point? At this point, is that how it works?
And it obviously includes Murdoch and the Post.
Yeah, the New York Post and the fucking they were. I mean, sure they were the only ones to carry your stupid bullshit fake laptop story, but then now they're the enemy. Can I just enjoy this for a moment? Can we just? It's kind of on a news level. It's kind of like standing in a field on a fresh spring day, just enjoying it, just soaking it in. It's nice. Think about this for a second. They're going after Fox News and the New York Post and the Murdoch family and accusing them of being part of a deep state cabal. Oh, this is great. This is good stuff. I don't know. I mean, how do you top this?
They don't want Trump back.
Okay, so that's the thing. They're doing everything they can to keep Trump out. So they kicked the guy to the curb who recently had text messages released where he says he thinks Trump is a demon and that there's no upside to him and that he's terrible. If they don't want Trump back, wouldn't they keep him? Right? The fuck? There's like a giant kink in the logic hose over on the right now. It kind of always has been, but especially now.
They decided that Trump was going to be gone, and dare he now try to challenge them? So
dare he now try to challenge?
So the sad news is there isn't an awful lot to balance the mainstream media, and now we're one less.
Yes, Rudy. You don't have to tell Eric that. He knows. He's on Newsmax. He knows no one watches, but way to rub it in. Way to be a dick to Eric Bolling on his own show.
And that part isn't good news.
All right, that little bit.
The good news is how everything is becoming streaming, online.
Yeah.
5 years from now, it'll all be that way.
Yeah, 5 years from now, the big networks won't exist at all. It'll just be all little YouTube channels owning the airwaves. And then you'll have to deal with me. All right.
So I expect to see Tucker with a bigger audience.
Oh, yeah, way bigger. Because having a cable show that also airs clips online is way better than is not nearly as good, as not having that cable show and just having stuff air online, right? Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Very, very soon on one of the online. maybe any number of online locations.
Yeah, I think that's right, Rudy. I think that better than him like starting the Daily Caller as a competitor to the Blaze and the Daily Wire and watering down the audience of Newsmax, RAV, RSBN, and all that shit. Yeah, no. He needs to just be a streaming gadfly, bouncing from shit show to shit show as a guest.
Yeah, and not so much about Tucker, and I think Fox probably didn't realize what they had or didn't realize the backlash. But again, you know, when you silence, when you censor, by the way, Tucker's probably in some sort of negotiation where he can't even talk about what happened.
Yeah, probably. Just, you know, he's probably silent right now. He didn't want to be. He wants to tell the truth, but they won't let him. The deep state cabal. It's not because he knows he's in deep shit, and if he doesn't play ball with them, they'll release all the awful, and then he'll get fucked by it, and that'll be the end of anybody's, you know, support of him, even on the right. It couldn't possibly be that. It's probably just an NDA or something. I don't know, something. Business, corporate-y business stuff.
And that's what Fox wants, and that's how...
Oh, totally. And what Fox wants, Fox gets.
They win. The question is, who's next? I mean...
Yes, it is the question. I have a giant pinwheel in the front of the house. I just spin it and hope.
And why are they doing it?
Yeah. What the fuck? It's not like they lost nearly $1 billion and are all set up to lose another... Oh, fuck.
Mr. Mayor, why are they pushing themselves towards the center or left?
They don't want Trump. I think this is everything we're going to see now for the next year and a half can all be answered by they don't want Trump back. Look how far they've gone already.
Or they know he doesn't have a shot, so they don't want to be in a situation where they've got all their eggs in an empty fucking basket. You gibbon.
Eric. Yeah, people who would make up Russian collusion and pay $1.1 million. People who would make up the whole...
Make up Russian collusion and pay who $1.1 million?
The Ukrainian story, the telephone thing. People who would...
They didn't make it up. Even he says that's what he said, stupid. In the call, specifically, Rudy was supposed to give the heavy language to Zelensky. He was going to run. Trump has the soft phone call, the Godfather call, and then he sends his voice, his enforcer, to come over there and say it in person without writing anything down. And they still told him to go fuck himself because they'd seen the polls.
Hide the hard drive.
It's one of my favorite games. What hard drive? And how do you... I'm sorry. I thought it was a laptop.
And then go ahead and write an absolutely phony letter and get 51 intelligence people to lie their backside off for it.
Oh yeah, they didn't lie. They believed it was Russian disinfo, and they were right.
I mean, what is it? What will they not do?
Let Russian stooges near the levers of power again, I suppose. These are people that will go to any lengths to stop him. So this is not a surprise. I mean, Tucker, it wasn't even so much that Tucker was that much for Trump. He had become that way. He was laying out the circumstances that show how incredibly crooked they are. I mean, yes, that's what he was doing. And that's why he had to have, people like Jimmy Dore and Russell Brand on, because who else will tell the truth? Nobody.
I mean, they manipulated January 6th.
No, they did not.
They were more than willing to create the fiction of an American insurrection.
No, Trump did. It was an attempted one, but such a failure that I think it qualifies as fiction at this point.
In order to get rid of Donald Trump. For that, you probably should be thrown out of the country.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the reality is they're talking about 6 people dead. Nobody's dead. They're talking about an insurrection, except an insurrection without a single gun and without a single...
No, there were guns present.
...person being...
People have been tried, had guns on them at the time, admitted to having guns on them at the time.
charged with insurrection after 400 charges.
Yeah.
No, actually, there have been people who've been charged with insurrection
And Mr. Mayor,
under the Insurrection Act.
I'm old enough to. I'm sorry.
Who knows what degree?
I'm old enough to remember when Fox used to embrace that and dig in and allow the host to dig into the stories and find. It was never.
Yeah, and then it cost them $787 million because they made assertions multiple times that they did not have evidence to back up and still refused to stop.
Don't say that or don't talk about that over there. It's dig in. Now it's like be careful.
Oh, by the way, no. Oh no, you could absolutely at Fox News, you could absolutely talk about the big lie, sell the idea that it was a rigged and stolen election, as long as you didn't name drop Dominion in particular. But laying the blame at Dominion's feet is what cost you all that fucking money. And this whole idea, like, you're not even allowed to ask questions is bullshit. They were making statements, defamatory statements. Go fuck yourself.
What you say, you might get fired. If they can fire Tucker, they can fire everyone. I'm sure the rest of the hosts are going, uh-oh, I wonder what we can and can't do anymore. And they've...
Yeah, that's, I'll tell you what you can't do. You can't lie so much that your company has to settle a $1.6 billion lawsuit for $787 million. That's the limit. I'm just saying. Clearly, don't cross that line. Should be fairly easy, but maybe not.
Moved left, Mr. Mayor. I'd like you to weigh in on your thoughts why the Pentagon would weigh in, patting Fox on the back for firing Tucker.
Well, the Pentagon...
Good riddance. Pentagon officials cheer Tucker Carlson's ouster. Really? Did they write him a letter? Hold on one second. Now I got to check this. Hold on. Let's see. Officials cheer. Okay. Got to be in here. Let's see, here we go. From maternity flight suits to diversity policies to Ukraine aid, the military is a favorite punching bag for Tucker Carlson. Now that he's off the air, some Pentagon officials are quietly cheering his departure. Carlson's criticism of Biden-era personnel policies appealed to many of the rank and file, which has made a large block of conservative members, but at upper levels of the Defense Department, news of Carlson's firing from Fox News on Monday was met with delight and outright glee in some corners. We're a better country without him bagging on our military every night in front of hundreds of thousands of people, said one senior DoD official, who, like others interviewed for the story, was granted anonymity to discuss a politically sensitive topic. Good riddance, said second DoD official. Asked to respond to the news that DoD officials were pleased by his departure from Fox, Carlson responded by text message, "Ha, I'm sure." He declined to comment further. The tension between them, blah, blah, blah. And Joe Biden announced new efforts to recruit and keep women in the service. So we've got new hairstyles and maternity flight suits. Pregnant women are going to fight our wars. This is a mockery of the U.S. military. In response, Kirby took a rare swipe at Fox News. Says, what we absolutely won't do is take personnel advice from a talk show host or the Chinese military. And because Tucker was carrying Chinese talking points all the time. Quietly in certain corners has turned into they announced. Listen to how this asshole describes this. One more time.
Fox on the back for firing Tucker.
Patting Fox on the back.
That's why the Pentagon would weigh in.
Why the Pentagon would weigh in, patting Fox on the back for firing Tucker. That's not what happened. Somebody interviewed folks over there because they were like, hey, what do you think of Tucker getting out of there? And they were like, fuck that guy. But, off the record.
Fox on the back for firing Tucker.
Yeah, they didn't do that.
Well, the Pentagon has been disgracefully politicized.
Disgracefully politicized. Yeah, they're all in on this whole democracy thing. I don't know what the fuck.
I mean, they've politicized the two departments that really just shouldn't be at all, and that is the Justice Department that's supposed to mete out justice equally, not to
give favoritism to rich assholes. Sure.
Differently to Democrats and Republicans, and the Defense Department that has a goal that is not political. It's overriding. It's defending the national security of Republicans and Democrats, but they've both been politicized.
Yeah, but he's been attacking the Pentagon in ad hominem ways nonstop. I think that's what their problem is not with his politics, but that he's an asshole.
So there'd be no doubt they would look at it that way. And
Yeah, they get touchy about anti-patriotic claptrap.
also probably very sensitive that they're undermining completely our military with what they're doing to train them. There have to be an awful lot of people in that military that are going along with this and saying to themselves, what are we doing?
What are we doing surrounded by all these black people and gay people and women and stuff? Ew. Yeah, I'm sure there's a couple of them.
When were we taught that at West Point?
Yeah, I for one would hope my military would be concentrating on, maybe, I don't know, China
Unit cohesion?
and Russia rather than what Tucker Carlson is saying or what the Fox is firing.
Yeah, I think they can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Brian Kilmeade, who's tapped to sit in for Tucker this week, took a
And
shot
has caught shit.
at Steve Bannon and said, "Yeah, you were fired by Trump." I mean, are they making it obvious that this Fox News group, is just completely against the America First and MAGA crowd?
You do realize this guy set up a fake charity to build a wall and, build a fake section of wall and stole money from maggots, was found guilty of it in a court of law with a full defense, every possible, he had all of his due process, and Trump pardoned him. Which one of these two dickheads is pro-MAGA then?
Yeah.
Say what you will about Kilmeade. He's a complete ass, and he's not bright at all. But insofar as I know, he never fleeced tens of thousands of dollars out of maggots and laughed about it on the boat of owned by a Chinese millionaire.
It sounded to me like it's all out war.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's all out war. Absolutely. The Fox has declared war on Donald Trump. It's a shame, but I guess it has to be this way.
That they're engaging in, and that the desire to defeat him is going to be. I mean, they'd be like Democrats. They're going to do the Democrat personal attack, destroy people's reputation. I mean, this.
Well, I'm sorry, we can't destroy Trump's reputation. He has none, except for the awful parts. What do you think we're going to do? Destroy his the myth of him being a good businessman? Is that the concern?
I don't know.
I mean, I understand everything's a reboot these days, but we've moved on.
I actually can't tell you what motivates them to that degree. Look,
I'm going to go with evil. I think Fox is just evil, Rudy. Just say it. They're evil people, evil and stupid. They're stupidly evil and evilly stupid. And you just got to stop dancing around it, man. Just call it out. Fox are violent, evil idiots to the person there. Anybody who's ever worked there, even been on that network, has contributed to it, myself included. I was on Fox and Friends a couple of times back in the day. I did Red Eye back when, before the Obama panic.
I helped to get them on television in New York.
Yeah, they know, and that's you used undue influence to help a network that helped you politically. You should probably.
When Turner would not put them on. So I have a long history with Fox. It goes back to things that people don't even know about.
Sure, most of it, corruption. Sure.
And to see this happen, and I did it in order to have a bastion of free speech at it.
Yes, that's what it was. He desperately needed in New York City, a bastion of free speech.
A time in which there was no Fox and there was no Newsmax and there was no.
Right, a simpler, calmer time.
OAN, and there was no Eric Bolling and Don Bongino. And
yeah, Eric Bolling was hatched 2 years ago at a marzipan factory.
And there are 1,000 more I could mention. I just used that as examples. But those.
Yeah. I mean, Eric, I'm not saying you because you're special. I'm just top of my head, and you're right there. It's not because you're not good or worthwhile. I'm just saying you didn't have a show then, or did you? Did you? You may have. What were you doing? I don't know.
Didn't exist back then, and one guy, Roger Ailes, had the cojones to do it.
The coyotes? I'm sorry. What part of
Exist
the
back then, and one guy, Roger Ailes, had the cojones to do it.
coyones? Is that a type of golf club or?
Yep.
And back then, and one guy, Roger Ailes, had the cojones to do it.
Quijones? Do you mean quiones, right? Quiones, like testicles? Coyon. All right.
Yep.
And it
Mayor,
had
Yep, totally. I got the Honda Civic.
Mayor, I want the folks to hear the soundbite I was talking about where Kill Me Trash Bannon. Listen.
Yeah, we can't stop fucking with Fox just because we're on Tucker's side because we're trying to lure him over here.
For Steve Bannon to come out and criticize Fox, really? This guy got, I guess, fired from the Trump administration, and then
You guess he did.
I hooked up with another writer and just ripped Trump from limb to limb. Then he gets himself in legal trouble.
I hook up? You mean he hooked up? Fuck, Kill Me's so dumb.
And Trump pardons him, and now he's a Trump loyalist. So, to me, I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what
That's true of everyone in the world, though, for Kill Me, in all fairness.
he's talking about. He's got his timeline all mixed up. Mr. Mayor, final thought.
Yeah, wrap it up for us because all three of you have been a waste of fucking
well,
time.
that's a political attack. That's not a journalism. I mean,
The nerve.
Brian is better than that. I don't know who.
No, he really isn't. He's super not. He's that's it. Bad is as good as he gets.
Put him up to doing that. But that's
Probably the hamster that lives in his prefrontal cortex.
like a cheap political attack.
It is like that. It's a lot like that. So much like it that it might actually be. It's just a personal opinion.
Not the analysis of a journalist. And Brian,
Well, yeah, but we're talking about Brian Kilmeade. Of course not.
Brian likes to think of himself as a journalist, and he should.
Yeah, but that's adorable. Yeah. And when I was 5, like to think of myself as an astronaut. And I once tried to launch myself into space in a dishwasher box. What's your point?
Try to act like one.
Mayor Rudy Giuliani, always good having you on, my friend.
See, you can't just end with a lie like that.